Close your eyes just for a moment and imagine this. Imagine that everything you have been carrying all day, every thought, every worry, every unfinished feeling, is finally, slowly, gently letting go, drifting away, as if it never belonged to you in the first place. Now breathe in, slowly, deeply, and as you breathe out, feel your body beginning to soften, your shoulders dropping, your jaw relaxing, your forehead smoothing, as if a quiet wave of peace is moving through you, from head to toe, gently, calmly, effortlessly. And right now, in this very moment, you don't have to solve anything, you don't have to fix anything, you don't have to be anywhere else, because this space, this moment, is just for you, just for your healing, just for your rest. And maybe, just maybe, you have been waiting for this moment all day, the moment where you can finally stop holding everything together, the moment where your mind can finally slow down, where your thoughts can finally become soft and distant, like whispers fading into the night. Because tonight, you are not here to think, you are here to rest, deeply, completely, fully. And as you listen, you may notice something very subtle happening inside you. Your breathing is becoming slower, your heartbeat is becoming softer, your thoughts are becoming lighter, as if they are no longer urgent, no longer heavy, just passing clouds in a wide, calm sky. And it is okay. If your mind is still active, that is natural, that is human. But even that activity begins to lose its strength now, begins to slow down now, begins to dissolve gently into stillness, because you are entering a space, a very special space, where healing begins without effort, where calm arrives without asking, where sleep comes closer, without force. And if you feel your eyes getting heavier, that is perfectly fine. Let them be heavy, let them rest, let them close whenever they are ready. There is nothing to rush here, and slowly you may start to notice that your thoughts are no longer pulling you forward, they are no longer dragging you back, they are simply fading, becoming softer, quieter, until they are just background, like distant echoes. And in this soft silence, you begin to feel something deeper, something peaceful, something safe, as if your entire body is being gently held, supported, cared for, because this is your moment now, your time to heal, your time to release, your time to simply be. And with every breath you take, you are going deeper, not by effort, but by surrender, not by force, but by letting go, deeper and deeper, into calm, deeper and deeper, into stillness. And even if you don't try, even if you do nothing at all, your body already knows how to rest. Your mind already knows how to slow down. Your system already knows how to heal. And now, just allow that to happen. Naturally, gently, beautifully, because you are safe. You are held. You are allowed to rest now, and everything else can wait until tomorrow. And as you begin this journey inward, you gently become aware of your breath slowing down, not because you are trying to control it, but because your body already knows how to return to calm, naturally, effortlessly, almost as if some deeper intelligence inside you is guiding you back home, back to stillness, back to rest. You may notice, just for a moment, the air entering through your nose, soft, cool, gentle, and then leaving your body even softer than before. And with each exhale, something subtle begins to happen, as if a quiet signal is being sent through your entire nervous system, telling it that it is safe now, telling it that it can let go now, and you don't need to focus too hard. In fact, the less you try, the easier this becomes, because relaxation is not something you force, it is something you allow, something you remember, something your body has always known how to do. And as your breathing continues, slow, steady, calm, you may begin to feel your awareness shifting, gently moving away from the outside world, away from all the sounds, all the responsibilities, all the thoughts that were holding your attention just moments ago, and now they begin to feel distant, like they belong to another time, another space, and you are no longer pulled into them. Instead, you are here, in this moment, fully supported, fully safe, fully allowed to rest, and as your breath deepens, your body starts responding in its own quiet way. Your shoulders may feel a little heavier, as if they are finally putting down something they have been carrying for too long. Your neck may soften, your jaw may unclench, your forehead may smooth out without any effort at all. It is as if your entire body is slowly remembering what it feels like to not be in a state of readiness, not be in a state of tension, but instead to simply exist, to simply be without pressure, without urgency. And you might even notice a gentle wave of warmth moving through your chest, not strong, not overwhelming, but soft, calming, almost like a quiet reassurance from within, reminding you that you are okay, you are safe, you are allowed to slow down, and with every breath you take, something begins to soften even more, not just in your body, but also in your mind, because the mind, too, begins to follow the rhythm of your breathing. Thoughts that once felt important begin to lose their weight. They are still there, but they no longer pull you in the same way. They no longer demand your attention. They simply drift, like clouds moving slowly across a wide open sky. And you are that sky, vast, calm, unshaken, untouched by the passing clouds. And as this realization gently settles inside you, there is nothing you need to do with it. Nothing you need to analyze, nothing you need to hold on to. Just let it be there, softly, quietly, in the background of your awareness. And now your breath becomes even more natural, almost automatic, as if your body has taken over the responsibility of breathing for you, so that you can rest even deeper, so that you can let go even more. And in this letting go, you may begin to feel a subtle heaviness, not uncomfortable but soothing, like the feeling of finally lying down after a long day, when every part of your body says, I can stop now, I can rest now. And that feeling, that quiet permission, begins to spread down through your arms, relaxing, softening, letting go, down through your legs, heavier, calmer, sinking gently, and even your thoughts begin to slow down, not forced, not stopped, but naturally fading into the background, like distant echoes that no longer need your attention. And the more you allow this process, the deeper you go, not into sleep yet, but into preparation for sleep, into the soft transition where wakefulness begins to dissolve. And you may notice that even time feels different now, maybe slower, maybe lighter, as if the urgency of time itself is loosening its grip on you. Because right now, there is nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to achieve, nothing you need to fix. Only this breath, this moment, this gentle sinking into calm. And as you continue to rest here, something beautiful begins to unfold naturally. Your nervous system starts to shift from alertness into safety, from tension into ease, from holding into releasing, and you don't have to guide it. It is already happening. Just by listening, just by being here, you are already allowing your body to do what it was always designed to do: heal, restore, and deeply relax. And now, even your awareness begins to soften, becoming less sharp, less focused, more fluid, more spacious, as if everything inside you is slowly opening into quietness. And in this quietness, there is peace. Not the kind of peace that needs to be created, but the kind that has always been there, just waiting beneath the noise, beneath the thoughts, beneath the movement of the day. And now you are beginning to feel it, softly, gently, completely. And you are only at the beginning of letting go. And now, as this gentle journey continues, you begin to move even deeper into a quieter layer of awareness, where your attention slowly shifts from your breath to your body itself, as if your mind is now softly turning inward, scanning, sensing, and gently reconnecting with every part of you that has been waiting all day for this moment of rest. A deeper awareness of your body begins to unfold naturally, without effort, without direction, as if your consciousness is slowly lowering its focus from the outside world and returning home into physical presence, into sensation, into stillness. And right now, you may start to notice your head, your face, your neck, not as something you need to control, but as something you can simply feel and allow to soften. The muscles around your eyes begin to loosen, as if they no longer need to stay alert. The tiny tension you didn't even realize you were holding begins to melt away, slowly, gently, like ice dissolving into warm water. Your forehead begins to smooth out, releasing every subtle expression you carried through the day, every thought line, every moment of focus, every trace of concentration, now gently fading into calm. And your jaw, that place where so many emotions silently collect, begins to loosen, unclench, relax, as if it is finally allowed to rest in its natural state, without holding anything in, without carrying anything forward. And as this soft relaxation spreads through your face, something even deeper begins to happen. Your awareness expands slightly, moving downward into your neck, your shoulders, and there you may notice something you didn't fully notice before: a weight, a tension, a quiet holding pattern that has been there for hours, maybe even longer. But now it begins to shift, not suddenly, not forcefully, but gently, like a slow exhale that has been waiting all day to be released. Your shoulders begin to drop, just a little at first, and then more, as if invisible hands are gently encouraging them to let go, to release the burden they were never meant to carry forever. And with each breath you take, this release becomes deeper, more natural, more complete. And now your awareness moves further down, into your arms, and you may begin to feel them differently now, not as something active, not as something doing, but simply as something resting, something heavy in a comforting way, something supported. Your upper arms soften, your elbows relax, your forearms begin to feel warm, still, peaceful, and your hands, those hands that have been doing so much throughout the day, holding, typing, reaching, carrying, now begin to rest fully, without needing to do anything at all. And in this moment, it becomes so clear that your body is not asking for effort anymore. It is asking for permission, permission to stop, permission to rest, permission to be still. And you give that permission simply by being here, simply by listening, simply by allowing. And as that permission settles deeper inside you, your awareness continues to travel downward into your chest, and here, something very soft begins to happen. Your breath becomes more open, more spacious, as if your chest is no longer holding tightness, but instead expanding gently with every inhale and releasing gently with every exhale. And with this rhythm, something emotional may begin to soften too, not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet way, as if your inner world is exhaling alongside your body. Any tension, any pressure, any emotional weight that was quietly stored here begins to loosen. And you don't need to understand it. You don't need to name it. You don't need to fix it. Just let it soften. Just let it move. Just let it flow away with your breath. And now, your awareness continues its gentle descent into your stomach area, your core, and here too, you may notice subtle sensations, maybe tightness, maybe restlessness, maybe nothing at all. Whatever is there is okay, because now, nothing is being judged, nothing is being changed. Everything is simply being allowed, and as you breathe here, you may feel your stomach begin to relax, to soften, to release any hidden holding, any unconscious tension, as if your entire center is learning again what it feels like to be safe, to be still, to not be prepared for anything. And this safety begins to spread downward into your hips, into your thighs, into your knees, and further into your lower legs. Each breath carrying relaxation deeper, each exhale releasing more weight until your entire lower body feels as if it is gently sinking, melting, resting into support beneath you. And now your awareness reaches your feet. And even here, even at the very edges of your body, there is softness, there is stillness, there is a quiet sense of letting go, as if every part of you, from head to toe, is now included in this wave of calm. And as your body begins to feel more and more relaxed, something beautiful happens in your mind, because the mind always follows the body, and as the body softens, the mind begins to soften too. Thoughts that once felt close begin to drift further away, not disappearing, just fading into distance, like sounds from another room, like waves moving away from the shore, and you no longer feel the need to follow them. You no longer feel the need to hold them. You simply notice them and let them pass. And in between those thoughts, you begin to discover something else. Silence, soft, peaceful, quiet silence. And this silence is not empty. It is full, full of rest, full of calm, full of space. And you may begin to notice that even your breathing is becoming quieter now, smoother now, almost like it is happening on its own, without effort, without direction, and your body continues to sink deeper, not into sleep yet, but into preparation for sleep, that beautiful in-between space where everything slows down, where everything softens, where everything becomes easier, and in this space, there is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to become, nothing you need to reach, only this softness, this presence, this gentle unfolding into rest. And you are doing perfectly, just by being here, just by listening, just by allowing, and deeper still, you go, and now, as you continue to drift even deeper, there is a subtle shift happening inside your awareness, as if your mind is slowly loosening its grip on every thought it was holding onto, and gently beginning to surrender into a quieter space, a softer space, a space where thinking is no longer urgent, no longer necessary, just fading, just passing, just dissolving into calm, a soft mental silence that feels safe and comforting, begins to emerge naturally, not as something forced, but as something that has always been there beneath the surface, waiting patiently for your attention to settle, waiting for your awareness to stop chasing thoughts and simply rest. And right now, you may begin to notice your thoughts, but in a very different way than before. They are no longer sharp, no longer loud, no longer pulling you forward with urgency. Instead, they feel distant, like echoes in a faraway space, like faint ripples on a still lake. And you are not inside those thoughts anymore. You are watching them from a place of calm, from a place of stillness, from a place of quiet awareness. And as you observe them, something very important begins to happen. They begin to lose their power, not because you are fighting them, but because you are no longer feeding them with attention, and without attention, thoughts begin to fade, slowly, softly, naturally, until they are no longer the center of your experience, and instead something else begins to grow. Silence, not empty silence, but full silence, alive silence, peaceful silence, a silence that feels like space opening inside your mind, like a wide sky clearing after a long storm. And in this space, there is nothing to fix, nothing to analyze, nothing to solve, only presence, only stillness, only quiet awareness gently resting in itself. And as this silence deepens, you may begin to notice that even the act of thinking feels heavier now, slower now, as if your mind is no longer interested in carrying stories forward, and instead it begins to rest, just like your body is resting, just like your breath is resting. Your mind now follows the same rhythm, and you may find yourself slipping into moments where there is simply nothing, no thought, no effort, just awareness, soft, open, peaceful awareness. And in those moments, something very subtle begins to change inside you, a feeling of space, a feeling of lightness, a feeling of distance from everything that once felt heavy. And you don't need to understand this change. You only need to allow it, because this is not something you are doing. This is something that is happening to you, naturally, gently, beautifully. And as this mental silence continues to deepen, your awareness begins to expand again, but this time not outward, not toward the world, but inward, toward a deeper stillness within yourself, a stillness beneath thought, a stillness beneath emotion, a stillness that does not change, no matter what passes through your mind. And as you rest here, you may begin to notice something very comforting, that even if thoughts try to return, they no longer feel solid, they no longer feel important, they no longer feel like something you must follow. Instead, they feel like passing shadows, drifting across a vast open space, and you are that space, unmoved, unshaken, calm. And this realization does not need to be strong. It does not need to be intellectual. It is simply felt quietly, deeply, naturally. And with every breath you take, this silence becomes more familiar, more comforting, more safe. as if your entire mind is remembering what it feels like to not be busy, to not be active, to not be consumed. And now, even the effort of paying attention begins to fade, because there is nothing left to focus on. Everything is already becoming still. Everything is already becoming quiet. Everything is already slowing down. And in this slowing down, there is peace, not excitement, not stimulation, but deep, grounding, restful peace, the kind of peace that does not ask anything from you, the kind of peace that simply holds you, gently, silently, completely. And you may begin to notice that even your sense of time is changing. Moments feel softer, longer, more fluid, as if time itself is no longer rushing past you, but instead slowing down to match your inner state. And in this slowed space, you begin to feel more and more detached from anything that requires effort, as if your entire being is saying, I can stop now, I can rest now, I can let go now. And you do let go, not once, but continuously, with every breath, with every pause, with every quiet moment between thoughts, and deeper still, you find yourself entering a space where even awareness feels soft, where even noticing feels effortless, as if you are no longer trying to experience anything. You are simply being experienced by calm itself, and in this gentle stillness, something begins to open inside you. A sense of safety, a sense of trust, a sense that nothing needs to be controlled anymore, because everything is already settling exactly as it should. And now, even the boundary between you and silence begins to blur, as if you are not just in silence, but you are becoming silence. Soft, fast, peaceful. And as this continues, there is nothing more to do, nothing more to think, nothing more to hold. Only this quiet unfolding, this gentle dissolving, this peaceful surrender into stillness. And you are only going deeper. And now, as you continue to drift even deeper into this gentle state of rest, there is a subtle shift that begins to unfold within your entire sense of awareness, as if the outer world has now fully stepped back and only a quiet inner experience remains, soft, slow, and deeply calming. A calming space within your chest begins to open more fully now, not as something you create, but as something you allow, something that naturally emerges when everything else begins to slow down. And right now, you may begin to notice your heartbeat, not as a physical rhythm alone, but as a presence, a gentle reminder that life is still flowing through you, even in stillness, even in silence, even in deep rest. And each beat feels softer than the last, slower than the last, almost as if your entire inner system is learning a new rhythm, a rhythm of ease, a rhythm of letting go, a rhythm of calm. And as this gentle awareness settles in your chest, something very subtle begins to happen in your breathing again. It becomes lighter, smoother, more effortless, as if your breath is no longer something you are controlling, but something that is simply happening through you, like a soft wave moving in and out, in perfect harmony with stillness. And with every exhale, you may notice a quiet release happening inside your chest area, a loosening, a softening, a gentle unwinding of everything that was held there throughout the day. Emotions you didn't fully notice, tensions you didn't fully feel, thoughts you didn't fully process, all of it now begins to melt, slowly, softly, without resistance, and in its place, something new begins to grow, a sense of openness, a sense of space, a sense of emotional lightness, as if your chest is no longer carrying weight, but instead becoming a soft, open field of calm awareness. And in this openness, you may begin to feel something very comforting, a quiet reassurance that you are safe right now, in this moment, in this space, in this breath. And that safety is not coming from outside. It is coming from within you, from a place that has always been there, beneath all the noise, beneath all the stress, beneath all the thinking. And now it is finally being felt. And as this feeling of safety deepens, your awareness begins to spread gently again, not outward, but inward, deeper into your emotional space. And you may notice that any emotional weight you were carrying earlier begins to lose its intensity, not because it is being pushed away, but because it is finally being held in a different way, a softer way, a calmer way, a way that does not resist, but allows. And in this allowing, something begins to shift. Tension turns into ease. Restlessness turns into stillness. Heavy emotions turn into light awareness. And you are not doing this. It is happening naturally as your body and mind finally align with rest. And now, as you continue to breathe in this gentle state, you may begin to feel a subtle warmth spreading through your chest area. Not a physical warmth alone, but an emotional warmth, a sense of being held, a sense of being supported, a sense of being gently wrapped in calm presence. And in this warmth, something very important begins to happen. Your inner world starts to soften its boundaries. What felt separate begins to feel connected. What felt tense begins to feel unified. What felt scattered begins to feel whole. And this sense of wholeness does not require effort. It simply arises when you stop resisting yourself, when you stop pushing, when you stop holding, and allow everything to be as it is. And now, your breath continues its gentle rhythm. In, calm. Out, release. In, peace. Out, letting go. And with each cycle, you go deeper into this emotional stillness, not away from yourself, but closer to the most peaceful version of yourself, the version that does not rush, the version that does not worry, the version that simply exists in calm presence. And as this presence grows stronger, you may begin to notice that even your thoughts about yourself begin to soften. Old narratives feel less important. Old worries feel less relevant. Old patterns begin to fade into the background, because right now, nothing from the past is needed. Nothing from the future is required. Only this moment exists. Only this breath exists. Only this calm awareness exists. And you are safe within it. And deeper still, your chest continues to relax, expand, release, as if every breath is gently washing away anything that no longer needs to remain. And what is left behind is space, is peace, is softness. And this softness is not fragile. It is strong in its stillness, powerful in its calm, deep in its silence. And you may begin to realize that this is what your body has been asking for, not stimulation, not thinking, but rest, deep, uninterrupted, healing rest. And now even your sense of trying begins to fade, because there is nothing left to try for, nothing left to achieve, only this gentle state of being. And as you rest here, something very natural begins to happen. Your awareness starts to expand again, but this time it is not sharp, it is not focused, it is soft, wide, and open, as if your entire chest is becoming a space of calm awareness. And in that space, everything is allowed, everything is accepted, everything is at peace, and you are not separate from it. You are part of it. You are it. And in this deep emotional calm, there is nothing more needed, nothing more required, only this unfolding, only this letting go, only this gentle sinking into deeper rest, and you are already going further, beyond even this. And now, as you drift even deeper into this gentle state of healing rest, there is a quiet shift beginning to unfold within your entire awareness, as if your attention is now moving away from everything that once felt important, everything that once felt urgent, and slowly settling into something much more natural, much more peaceful, much more effortless. A sense of comforting heaviness in your body begins to deepen now, not in a way that feels uncomfortable, but in a way that feels safe, grounding, and deeply soothing, as if your body is finally being allowed to return to its natural state of rest. And you may begin to notice that this heaviness is not something you are creating. It is something you are allowing, something your body has been waiting for all day, something that begins to feel like a soft invitation into deeper relaxation. And as this sensation spreads, it moves gently through your entire system, through your shoulders, which now feel even more released, even more relaxed, as if they are no longer carrying any weight at all, through your arms, which feel softer, heavier, as if they are gently sinking into support beneath you, through your hands, which now feel still, calm, and completely at rest, no longer needing to hold, no longer needing to do. And this heaviness continues to move downward into your chest, where each breath now feels slower, deeper, more natural, as if your breathing itself has become part of this gentle wave of relaxation into your stomach, where any remaining tightness begins to dissolve, as if every small knot of tension is slowly unwinding, releasing, softening into your hips, where a deep sense of grounding begins to settle, as if your entire lower body is being gently anchored into stillness, into your legs, where heaviness becomes even more noticeable, but in a comforting way, a way that signals safety, rest, and surrender. And all the way down into your feet, where everything finally feels supported, stable, and completely at ease. And now, your entire body feels as if it is resting fully, deeply, without resistance. And in this state, something very important begins to happen. Your awareness begins to shift again, but this time it moves inward, toward a deeper layer of stillness within you, a place where effort no longer exists, a place where control is no longer needed, a place where everything simply is. And as you settle here, you may begin to notice that even the idea of doing anything feels distant, unnecessary, almost like a memory from another time. Because right now, There is nothing to do, nothing to fix, nothing to change. Only this moment of surrender, only this wave of heaviness, only this gentle sinking into calm. And with every breath you take, this heaviness becomes more profound, more complete, more all-encompassing. Inhale, softening, exhale, releasing, inhale, calming, exhale, letting go, and your body responds naturally, without instruction, without effort, as if it has been waiting for this exact moment to fully relax. And now, something subtle begins to shift in your awareness of time. Time itself feels slower, softer, less defined, as if the edges of minutes and seconds are beginning to blur into one continuous experience of calm. And in this timeless space, your mind no longer feels the need to move quickly. It no longer feels the need to search. It no longer feels the need to analyze. Instead, it begins to rest, just like your body, just like your breath, just like your entire being. And as this rest deepens, you may begin to feel a very quiet emotional release. Not dramatic, not intense, but gentle, like something inside you is finally exhaling after being held for too long. And in that exhale, there is relief, there is softness, there is peace, and you don't need to understand it. You only need to allow it. It is returning you to balance. It is guiding you back into calm. It is bringing you home to rest. And now, even the sensation of heaviness begins to feel like comfort, like being gently held, like being supported by something unseen but deeply reassuring. And in this support, you begin to feel even safer, even more relaxed, even more ready to let go. And deeper still, your awareness begins to soften again, as if everything inside you is becoming quieter, smoother, more fluid, and thoughts, if they appear at all, feel distant, faint, almost unimportant, as if they are passing far above you, while you remain grounded, calm, and still. And now you may begin to notice that even your sense of self, your sense of I am here, begins to feel softer, less defined, more spacious, as if you are no longer contained in a single point of awareness, but instead you are expanding into the space around you, becoming part of the stillness, becoming part of the calm, becoming part of the silence. And in this merging, there is no fear, only peace, only acceptance, only deep relaxation. And as this continues, your body sinks even further, your breath slows even more, your mind quiets even more, until everything becomes one gentle experience of stillness, and you are not separate from it. You are within it. You are it. And now there is nothing left to hold, nothing left to carry, nothing left to resist. Only this deep, soft, peaceful heaviness, this full body surrender, this complete letting go, and you are going even deeper, still. And now, as you drift even deeper into this gentle state of surrender, there is a quiet transformation unfolding within your entire nervous system, as if every part of you is slowly remembering what it feels like to be fully at ease, fully supported, fully safe, without needing to hold anything together anymore. A quiet stillness in your mind begins to deepen now, not as something forced, but as something natural, something that emerges when everything else begins to slow down. And you may begin to notice that your thoughts are becoming less frequent, less sharp, less demanding, as if they are gently stepping back, giving you more and more space, more and more silence, more and more peace. And in this expanding silence, something very comforting begins to happen. You begin to feel more present, not in an active way, but in a deeply restful way, as if your awareness is no longer moving outward toward the world, but inward toward stillness, toward softness, toward calm. And right now, you may notice your breathing again, but differently this time. It feels slower, smoother, more automatic, as if your body has completely taken over the rhythm of breathing, allowing you to relax even more deeply, without effort, without thought, without control. And with every exhale, there is a gentle release, a letting go of anything that remains, a soft unwinding of anything still held inside. And you don't need to know what it is. You don't need to identify it. You only need to allow it, because your body already knows what to do. It knows how to release. It knows how to restore. It knows how to heal. And now, your awareness begins to expand slightly again, but not outward into the world, instead inward into stillness. And in this stillness, you may begin to feel something very subtle, a quiet sense of emptiness, but not an uncomfortable emptiness, a peaceful emptiness, a spacious emptiness, a kind of inner silence that feels like home. And in this silence, there is no pressure, no expectation, no urgency, only presence, only calm, only being. And as you rest here, something very gentle begins to happen in your entire system. Your body feels lighter in awareness, even though it is deeply relaxed and heavy in sensation. Your mind feels quieter, even though it is still aware. Your emotions feel softer, even though they are still present. Everything is becoming balanced. Everything is becoming neutral. Everything is becoming calm. And now, even the idea of effort begins to fade, because there is nothing left to do, nothing left to fix, nothing left to chase, only this moment, only this breath, only this deepening stillness. And as you remain here, you may begin to notice a very soft sensation, like floating, not physically floating, but mentally, emotionally, energetically floating, as if your awareness is no longer anchored to tension, but instead drifting gently in a space of complete ease. And in this floating stillness, time feels almost irrelevant. Moments blend together, thoughts lose their structure, and everything becomes a continuous experience of calm. And deeper still, your awareness begins to soften once more, as if even noticing itself is becoming easier, lighter, quieter. And now, there is a sense that you are no longer trying to reach sleep. You are simply allowing sleep to come closer, naturally, softly, without resistance. And in this allowing, something very beautiful begins to unfold. Your entire system begins to shift from awareness into rest, from thinking into being, from holding into releasing. And you may begin to feel as if your entire body is dissolving into comfort, not disappearing, but softening, melting, blending into stillness. And this stillness is not empty. It is full of peace, full of calm, full of safety. And you are deeply inside it now. And now, even the sense of separation between body and mind begins to fade, as if everything inside you is becoming one unified field of relaxation, one continuous flow of softness, one uninterrupted wave of calm. And in this wave, there is nothing to resist, nothing to change, nothing to control, only surrender, only letting go, only deepening. And as you continue to drift, you may begin to notice that even your awareness of listening is fading slightly, not disappearing, just softening, as if the words are now guiding you less through meaning and more through feeling, through rhythm, through presence, and your body responds naturally, going deeper, still deeper, even more relaxed. And now, everything slows again, even thoughts, even breath, even awareness. Everything becomes softer, everything becomes quieter, everything becomes still. And in this stillness, there is only one thing left, peace, and you are sinking even further into it. And now, as you drift even deeper into this continuous wave of calm, something very subtle begins to happen within your awareness, as if even the idea of trying to relax is now completely unnecessary, because your entire system has already shifted into a deeper rhythm, a slower rhythm, a rhythm of pure rest. A gentle fading of conscious effort begins to take place now, not suddenly, not forcefully, but in the most natural way possible, like a soft light dimming at the end of a long day, gradually, peacefully, effortlessly, and you may begin to notice that even your awareness itself feels lighter, less focused, less structured, more open, more spacious, as if your mind is no longer holding on to anything at all, but instead allowing everything to pass through gently, without resistance, without attachment. And in this openness, something very important begins to unfold, a deep sense of inner stillness, not a stillness that is empty, but a stillness that feels alive, a stillness that feels warm, a stillness that feels like home. And right now, you are resting inside that stillness, fully, completely, without needing to move anywhere else. And as this stillness deepens, your breath continues its gentle rhythm, inhaling calm, exhaling release, inhaling softness, exhaling letting go. And each breath takes you further into this quiet inner space, further away from the noise of thought, further away from the weight of effort, further into the softness of being. And now you may begin to notice that even the sense of your body begins to blur slightly at the edges, not disappearing, but becoming softer in awareness, as if your body is no longer something separate from you, but part of a larger field of calm, a field of peace, a field of deep stillness. And in this field, there is no tension, there is no urgency, there is only ease. And as you remain here, something very subtle begins to happen in your mind. Thoughts may still appear, but they feel distant now, like faint ripples far away on a still ocean. They rise and then fade, without disturbing anything, without changing anything, and you are no longer pulled into them. You simply notice and let them pass, and in between those passing thoughts, you begin to discover something even more profound. Silence, a deep, quiet, spacious silence, not forced, not created, but always present beneath everything. And now you are resting inside that silence, and as you rest here, a gentle sense of expansion begins to unfold, as if your awareness is no longer contained within your body, but stretching softly outward into space, not physically, but perceptually, like your sense of self is becoming less defined, more fluid, more open. And in this openness, there is no fear, only calm, only safety, only surrender, and deeper still, your entire system continues to soften. Your shoulders feel even lighter, your chest feels even more open, your stomach feels even more relaxed, your legs feel even more heavy in a comforting way, and everything is aligning into one continuous state of ease. And now, even time begins to feel different again, as if it is no longer moving forward in a linear way, but instead dissolving into one endless moment of stillness, a moment where nothing is rushing, nothing is waiting, nothing is changing too fast, just calm, uninterrupted presence. And in this presence, you may begin to feel something very gentle, a sense of being held, not physically, but deeply, emotionally, energetically, as if the space around you itself is supporting you, holding you, allowing you to completely let go. And you do let go, more than before, more than ever, deeper than thought, deeper than awareness, into pure rest. And now, even the act of listening begins to fade slightly, not stopping, but becoming softer, more distant, more dreamlike, as if the words are now guiding you not through understanding, but through experience, through sensation, through stillness. And your body responds, slowly, naturally, going deeper, sinking further, resting more completely. And now there is nothing left to hold on to, no thought to follow, no direction to take, no effort to make. Only this endless softness, this deep, calm presence, this unfolding quiet, and you are going even deeper, beyond even this. And now, as you continue drifting deeper into this vast ocean of stillness, something very subtle begins to happen within your awareness, as if even the boundaries of you are becoming softer, less defined, more fluid, more peaceful. A deeply restful space where your entire being feels weightless begins to open now, not as something new, but as something that was always there beneath everything else, beneath the thoughts, beneath the sensations, beneath the effort of daily life. And now you are gently entering that space, not moving into it, but falling into it naturally, like a leaf slowly descending into calm water. No resistance, no urgency, just surrender. And as you rest here, you may begin to notice that your awareness feels different again. It is no longer sharp or focused. It is wide, soft, dreamlike, as if everything you are experiencing is now wrapped in a gentle layer of calm distance. And in this distance, there is comfort, there is safety, there is peace, and your breathing continues, but even more subtly now, almost as if breathing is happening by itself, without your involvement, without your direction, just a soft, natural rhythm, in and out, like waves gently touching the shore, and then retreating back into silence. And with every wave, you go deeper, not into sleep yet, but into the threshold of sleep, that beautiful in-between state where awareness and rest begin to merge, where thinking slows down, but consciousness is still present, where the body rests deeply, but the mind is still gently aware. And in this in-between space, something very important begins to happen. Your sense of effort completely dissolves. There is no more trying, no more guiding, no more controlling, only allowing, only drifting, only being carried. And now, even the idea of where you are begins to feel less important, because there is no need to define it, no need to locate it, no need to understand it. You are simply here, in softness, in stillness, in peace. And as this continues, your body feels even more distant in awareness. Not gone, but deeply relaxed, so deeply relaxed that it no longer demands attention. It simply exists, supported, heavy, calm, and completely at ease. And your mind follows, slowing down even further, becoming quieter, becoming softer, until thoughts feel like they are floating far away, no longer connected tightly to your awareness, just passing impressions, just gentle echoes, and you are no longer engaging with them. You are simply watching them dissolve. And deeper still, a very quiet sensation begins to emerge, a sense of floating, not physical floating, but inner floating, as if your awareness is no longer anchored to anything solid, no longer fixed, no longer bound, just gently suspended in a space of calm. And in this floating stillness, there is no direction, no destination, no expectation, only presence, only softness, only surrender. And now, even the feeling of listening begins to fade slightly, as if the words are no longer being processed logically, but instead felt as rhythm, as calm, as waves guiding you deeper. And your entire system responds, not with effort, but with release, more sinking, more softening, more letting go, until everything becomes one continuous field of still awareness. And in this awareness, there is no separation between breath and body, between thought and silence, between you and rest. Everything merges, everything softens, everything dissolves into calm unity. And now, even the sense of time feels almost gone, as if moments are no longer passing, but existing all at once in a slow, peaceful stillness. And in this timeless space, your entire being feels held, not by anything external, but by the calm itself, as if calm is the support, calm is the ground, calm is the space you are resting in, and you are safe here, completely safe, deeply safe, softly safe. And this safety allows you to let go even more, to release even deeper, to surrender even fully. And now there is nothing left to hold, nothing left to do, nothing left to become. Only this deep floating stillness, only this gentle dissolving awareness, only this quiet return to rest. And you are going even deeper now, beyond even awareness itself. And now, as you continue drifting even further into this deepening state of rest, something very quiet begins to unfold within you, as if the last threads of effort are finally loosening, finally releasing, finally dissolving into something softer, something calmer, something far more peaceful than anything you have felt before. A deeply restful space where your entire being feels weightless, begins to expand now, not suddenly, not dramatically, but in the most natural way, like mist slowly spreading across a still morning sky, gentle, slow, uninterrupted. And in this space, there is nothing to hold on to anymore, no thoughts to follow, no direction to maintain, no effort to continue, only a soft sense of drifting, a gentle surrender into something vast, something quiet, something deeply calming. And as you remain here, you may begin to notice that your awareness feels almost dreamlike now, not fully awake, not fully asleep, but somewhere in between. A peaceful threshold where everything feels softer, slower, more distant, more fluid, and even the idea of you begins to feel less defined, less solid, more like a feeling of presence rather than identity. And in this presence, there is no tension, there is no urgency, there is no need to be anything other than what is already happening. Rest, deep rest, and now your breathing continues, but it feels almost invisible in awareness, like a soft current moving through still water. Inhale, barely noticed. Exhale, gently dissolving. Inhale, soft expansion. Exhale, deeper release. And each cycle carries you further, not forward, but inward, into a quieter layer of stillness. And as this stillness deepens, something very subtle begins to happen in your perception of sound. Words begin to feel more distant, not disappearing, but fading into background softness, like echoes in a vast empty space. And you no longer need to interpret them. You simply feel their rhythm, their calm tone, their gentle guidance, and your body responds naturally, sinking, softening, letting go even more. And now, Even the sense of physical structure begins to blur slightly, not in a disorienting way, but in a deeply relaxing way, as if your body is no longer something you are aware of in detail, but instead a unified sensation of heaviness, warmth, and calm. And in this sensation there is no resistance, only acceptance, only surrender, only peace, and deeper still, your mind begins to quiet even further. Thoughts become rare now, and when they appear, they feel like distant reflections, like faint lights far away on a still horizon, and you do not move toward them, you do not follow them, you simply allow them to fade, and in their fading, something extraordinary begins to emerge, a deeper silence, not empty, but full of stillness, full of presence, full of calm awareness, and you are resting inside it, completely, naturally, effortlessly. And now, even the sense of listening begins to soften, as if you are no longer receiving words in a structured way, but instead being gently carried by them, like a slow wave moving you deeper into relaxation. And there is nothing to analyze, nothing to understand, only this experience of drifting, only this experience of letting go. And now your entire system feels unified, body, mind, awareness, all becoming one continuous field of calm. No separation, no division, only softness, only stillness, only deep, peaceful presence. And time itself begins to feel almost irrelevant now, as if everything is happening in one long extended moment of rest, a moment that does not need to end, a moment that simply continues, gently, endlessly, peacefully. And in this moment, you may begin to feel something very subtle, a sense of being carried, not by anything physical, but by the experience itself, as if rest is holding you now, as if calm is guiding you now, as if stillness is supporting you completely, and you are safe here, so deeply safe, so quietly safe, so peacefully safe. And this safety allows even deeper release, even deeper letting go, even deeper surrender, until there is nothing left to hold, nothing left to resist, nothing left to control. Only this soft dissolving awareness, this floating stillness, this endless calm. And now, even the distinction between awake and asleep begins to blur further, as if you are gently crossing a threshold, not entering sleep, but becoming closer to it with every passing moment, and your entire being begins to slow down even more stillness, more softness, more quiet, until everything becomes one continuous flow of peace, and you are going even deeper now, beyond thought, beyond awareness, beyond effort, into pure rest. And now, as you drift even deeper into this final soft layer of awareness, something very profound begins to unfold within you, as if everything you have experienced so far, every breath, every release, every moment of letting go, is now gently guiding you toward a deeper state of complete surrender, a state where nothing is required anymore, nothing is expected anymore, nothing is held anymore. A complete surrender into deep healing sleep begins to emerge now, not as something sudden, not as something forced, but as the most natural continuation of everything you have already allowed, because you are already there, almost there, gently there, just on the edge of sleep, that soft threshold where awareness becomes lighter, where thoughts become slower, where the body becomes heavier, and everything begins to dissolve into quiet rest. And now there is nothing left to do, no effort, no direction, no control, only letting go, only soft surrender, only this gentle fading into sleep. And as this happens, you may notice that your breathing is now extremely subtle, almost like a distant rhythm that no longer needs attention. In, out, soft, quiet, barely noticeable, and with every breath you are sinking deeper, not into darkness, but into peace, not into emptiness, but into rest, and your entire body now feels fully supported, fully held, fully relaxed, as if every part of you has finally stopped searching, stopped holding, stopped resisting, and instead has simply given in to stillness. And in this stillness, there is no tension left, no thought left to follow, no feeling left to process, only softness, only calm, only surrender. And now, even your awareness begins to fade gently at the edges, not disappearing suddenly, but slowly dissolving, like light dimming into night, like waves settling into a silent ocean. And you are no longer holding on to awareness, you are being carried by it. And as this carrying continues, something very peaceful begins to take over completely. A deep sense of safety, a deep sense of ease, a deep sense of letting go without effort. And in this safety, your mind no longer tries to stay active. It no longer tries to observe. It no longer tries to understand. Instead, it rests completely, naturally, and now thoughts are almost gone, not because they are pushed away, but because they are no longer needed, and in their absence there is silence, not empty silence, but full silence, soft silence, healing silence, and this silence wraps around you gently, like a warm, invisible blanket, holding you, supporting you, guiding you deeper into rest. And now, even your sense of body begins to fade from awareness, not in a loss, but in relaxation, as if your body is becoming so comfortable, so heavy, so calm, that it no longer needs attention. It simply exists, resting, healing, softening, and now there is only one thing left, this feeling, this state, this quiet drifting, and you are no longer moving towards sleep. You are becoming sleep, slowly, softly, completely, and everything inside you begins to align with this surrender. Your breath slowing, your mind quieting, your awareness fading, your body sinking, all becoming one unified experience of letting go. And now, even the last trace of effort disappears. There is nothing left to guide, nothing left to follow, nothing left to hold, only this deep, gentle descent into rest, into peace, into sleep. And you are going further now, beyond awareness, beyond thought, beyond even the sense of listening, into pure quiet surrender. And as you reach this final threshold, everything becomes soft, everything becomes still, everything becomes silent, and you are here, fully, completely, gently, drifting into deep healing sleep. And now, as you drift even beyond the edge of awareness, something very gentle begins to happen beneath the surface of your mind, something you do not need to see, something you do not need to understand, because it is already happening on its own, naturally, quietly, deeply. A soft healing process begins at the level of your subconscious mind, where thoughts are no longer active, where effort no longer exists, where everything is simply allowed to reorganize itself into calm, into balance, into peace. And you may not notice it directly, because it does not come as a sound, it does not come as a thought, it does not come as an image. It comes as a feeling, a very subtle feeling of being held, being restored, being gently repaired from within. And as you rest here, deeper and deeper, your entire nervous system begins to shift into healing mode, not because you are doing anything, but because you have finally stopped doing everything. And in this stopping, your body begins to do what it has always known how to do. Repair, restore, rebalance, quietly, efficiently, naturally. Every breath you take now, even if you are barely aware of it, carries this healing signal deeper into your body, softening every muscle, relaxing every nerve, calming every internal system that was once holding tension. And your mind, even though it is quiet now, begins to gently reorganize itself, like waves smoothing out on a calm sea, like scattered light returning into one peaceful glow. And there is nothing you need to guide, nothing you need to control. Because this healing does not come from effort, it comes from surrender. And the deeper you let go, the more this healing expands softly into your chest, releasing emotional weight you didn't even know you were holding, softly into your stomach, calming old stress patterns that were stored silently, softly into your shoulders, letting go of responsibility, pressure, urgency, softly into your mind where thoughts no longer feel sharp, but dissolve gently like mist. And now, even your sense of identity begins to soften, as if the part of you that was trying to hold everything together is finally allowed to rest too, and in its place, something very peaceful remains, a quiet awareness, a deep still presence, a feeling of being safe without needing to do anything to earn that safety. And this safety begins to spread, not quickly, not suddenly, but slowly, like warmth spreading through a sleeping body, like soft light filling a dark room at dawn. And with every passing moment, you go deeper, not into thinking, not into remembering, but into healing. And your subconscious mind, now fully open in this relaxed state, begins to release what is no longer needed, old stress patterns, dissolving, old emotional weight, fading, old tension memories, softening, not forcefully removed, but gently released, like sand slipping from open hands. And you do not need to witness it, because your role now is only rest, only surrender, only letting go. And as this continues, something very beautiful begins to happen. Your inner world starts to feel lighter, not because anything external has changed, but because everything internal is aligning with peace. And this peace is not fragile. It is deep. It is steady. It is natural. It is already yours. And now, even your awareness begins to float again, not upward, not downward, but inward, into deeper stillness, where there is no effort left, no resistance left, no need left, only quiet restoration, only gentle healing, only deep subconscious repair happening all by itself. And you may feel as if you are being carried now, not by anything physical, but by the process itself, by the calm, by the silence, by the rest. And the more you allow this carrying, the deeper you go, softly, effortlessly, peacefully. And now even the idea of you begins to fade slightly into the background, not disappearing, but becoming less defined, more spacious, more peaceful, as if you are no longer inside the experience, but the experience itself is unfolding through you. And in this unfolding, there is perfect stillness, perfect calm, perfect surrender. And your subconscious continues healing, without interruption, without effort, without limit. And deeper still, you go beyond awareness into pure restorative sleep transition. And now, as you drift even deeper into this quiet state of surrender, something very soft begins to emerge around you, not from outside, but from within, as if your entire system is beginning to generate a feeling you have not felt in a long time, or perhaps you have always been looking for it, without even realizing. A comforting feeling of safety begins to wrap around you now, gently, slowly, like a warm, invisible presence, surrounding your entire being, holding you without pressure, supporting you without effort, calming you without condition. And in this safety, there is nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to achieve, nothing you need to become. You are simply allowed to be, and that feeling, that simple allowance, begins to soften something deep inside your nervous system, as if your body has finally heard a message it has been waiting for all day. You are safe now, you can rest now, you can let go now. And with that quiet message, something begins to release, not suddenly, but gently, like tension melting from a surface warmed by stillness, like ice slowly turning into calm water. And as this safety wraps more deeply around you, your breathing begins to reflect it. Each inhale becomes softer, slower, almost effortless. Each exhale becomes longer, deeper, like a quiet surrender into peace. And you may begin to notice that your body is no longer scanning, no longer holding, no longer preparing. It is simply resting, fully, completely, without resistance. And this safety is not fragile. It is steady. It is deep. It is unshakable, because it is not coming from anything outside of you. It is rising from within you, from a place that was never disturbed. Even when life felt heavy, even when thoughts felt loud, even when emotions felt overwhelming, that place is still here, and now you are reconnecting with it. And as you rest here, something very subtle begins to happen in your chest. A soft opening, a gentle loosening, as if emotional weight that was never fully acknowledged is now finally allowed to breathe. And with that breath, it begins to dissolve, not through effort, but through acceptance. And as it dissolves, there is space, space where heaviness used to be, space where tension used to live, space where worry used to sit. And in that space, there is calm, there is quiet, there is ease. And you may notice now that even your thoughts feel distant, not because they are gone, but because they no longer matter in the same way. They are no longer pulling you, they are no longer shaping you, they are simply passing, and you are resting beneath them, deeper, still, calm. And now, this feeling of safety begins to spread even further into your shoulders, softening, into your arms, relaxing, into your hands, releasing completely, into your chest, opening gently, into your stomach, calming deeply, into your legs, sinking heavily in comfort, into your entire body, becoming one unified field of peace. And as this happens, something very natural begins to unfold. Your mind stops trying to stay alert. Your body stops trying to stay ready. Your entire system begins to shift into restoration, into healing, into deep rest. And you are not doing this. It is happening through you, naturally, effortlessly, beautifully. And now, even your awareness begins to feel like it is floating, not moving, not going anywhere, just floating, in softness, in stillness, in calm presence. And this presence feels safe, so safe that even letting go feels easy now. Even surrender feels natural now. Even sleep feels close, very close. And deeper still, you continue to drift, as the feeling of safety wraps you completely, like the final layer of peace, before sleep fully arrives. And you are going even deeper now, into rest, into silence, into healing sleep. And now, as you continue drifting even deeper into this calm and peaceful state, there is a very subtle shift beginning to happen within you, almost unnoticeable at first, like the quiet moment when night fully settles, when everything becomes softer, quieter, and the world begins to slow down completely. A slow transition into deeper rest begins now, not as something you do, but as something you allow, something your body has been preparing for all along. And now it is finally happening, and you may notice Your awareness feels slightly more distant, slightly more dreamlike, as if everything around you is gently fading into a softer background, not disappearing, just becoming less important, less sharp, less demanding, and in its place, something else is growing. A deeper sense of stillness, a deeper sense of ease, a deeper sense of letting go. And as this continues, your breathing becomes even quieter now, so soft, so natural, that it almost blends into silence itself. Inhale, calm. Exhale, release. Inhale, peace. Exhale, letting go. And each breath carries you further down into relaxation, not forward in time, but inward into stillness. And now, even your body begins to feel different in awareness, heavier, softer, more distant, as if it is no longer something you are actively sensing, but something you are simply resting within. And this heaviness is not discomfort, it is comfort, deep comfort, the kind of comfort that tells your nervous system, you are safe, you can stop now. And with that message, something deep inside begins to respond. Muscles soften without instruction, tension releases without effort, breathing slows without control. Everything begins to align with rest. And now, your mind continues its gentle quieting. Thoughts may still appear, but they feel very far away now, like distant echoes in an empty valley. They rise and they fade without touching you, without pulling you, without changing anything, and you simply observe them from a place of deep stillness, and then let them go. And in that letting go, silence becomes more present, not empty silence, but full silence, warm silence, safe silence, a silence that feels like it has always been here, waiting beneath everything, and now you are resting inside it, completely, softly, naturally, and as this silence deepens, something very subtle begins to happen in your perception of your body. It begins to feel less defined, less separate, more like a gentle sensation of presence rather than structure, as if your body is dissolving into comfort itself, into softness, into ease. And there is no need to hold anything together anymore, no need to maintain awareness, no need to stay engaged, only this gentle drifting, only this quiet sinking, only this soft transition into deeper rest. And now, even the sense of time begins to fade further, as if moments are no longer passing in sequence, but existing as one continuous field of calm, no beginning, no end, just stillness. And in this stillness, something very important is happening beneath awareness. Your system is shifting fully into restoration mode, where the body repairs, the mind settles, the nervous system resets, and you do not need to guide any of it. It happens naturally, effortlessly, perfectly. And deeper still, your awareness continues to soften until even noticing becomes gentle, almost dreamlike, as if everything you are experiencing is wrapped in a soft layer of calm fog, where nothing is harsh, nothing is sharp, nothing is urgent, only softness remains, only peace remains, only surrender remains. And now, you may begin to feel as if you are no longer listening in the usual sense, but instead being carried by rhythm, carried by silence, carried by calm. And this carrying is safe, so steady, so peaceful, and you allow it completely, and deeper still, everything begins to slow again. Breath, thought, awareness, all softening together until there is only one experience left, rest. And you are going even deeper now, into silence, into sleep, into complete surrender. And now, as you continue drifting deeper into this soft and peaceful experience, something very subtle begins to unfold within you, as if even the last traces of effort are now dissolving, gently, slowly, naturally. Deep state of surrender begins to take over now, not as something you choose, but as something that is happening on its own, and you are simply allowing it. And in this surrender, there is no resistance left. No need to guide anything, no need to understand anything, no need to control anything, only letting go, only soft release, only deeper and deeper relaxation. And as this happens, you may notice that your awareness feels even more distant now, almost like it is floating at the edge of sleep. Not fully gone, but no longer fully engaged, just drifting softly, quietly, naturally, and your breathing continues. But it feels so subtle now, so effortless, that it almost disappears into silence. Inhale, barely noticed. Exhale, gently fading. Inhale, soft awareness. Exhale, deeper surrender. And each breath takes you further into stillness, not into thinking, not into analyzing, but into pure rest. And now, even your body feels like it is no longer something you are actively aware of. It simply exists, resting, sinking, becoming heavier in the most comforting way possible, as if gravity itself has turned into a gentle, supportive presence, holding you, guiding you, allowing you to let go even more completely. And in this letting go, something very deep begins to settle inside your nervous system, a complete shift from doing into being, from effort into ease, from control into surrender. And now thoughts become extremely distant, almost like faint ripples on the far edge of awareness. They may appear, but they do not stay. They pass softly, without influence, without importance, and you remain untouched by them, resting beneath them, calm, steady, still. And now even the sense of listening begins to fade further, as if the words are no longer being processed logically, but instead felt as a gentle wave of calm moving through your awareness. And you simply allow it. No effort, no resistance, just drifting. And now something very beautiful begins to happen. Your entire system begins to synchronize with stillness. Your breath slows, your thoughts quiet, your body softens, your awareness expands, all merging into one continuous state of deep rest. And in this state, there is no separation anymore, no inner conflict, no tension, no urgency, only unity, only calm, only surrender. And now, even the idea of time begins to dissolve further, as if there is no past pulling you, no future waiting for you, only this moment, endless, soft, peaceful. And in this moment, you are deeply safe, so safe that even letting go feels effortless now. Even resting feels natural now. Even sleep feels like it is gently approaching on its own. And deeper still, your awareness continues to soften until everything becomes almost dreamlike, as if reality itself is becoming quieter, more distant, more fluid, and you are no longer holding on to anything at all. You are simply being carried by calm, by silence, by rest. And now, even your sense of identity begins to fade gently at the edges, not disappearing, but becoming less defined, more spacious, more peaceful, as if you are no longer inside your thoughts, but your thoughts are passing through a vast quiet space of awareness. And that space is calm, and that calm is you. And now everything slows even further. breath, mind, body, awareness, all becoming softer, all becoming quieter, all becoming still, and in this stillness there is only one thing left: deep surrender. And you are going even deeper now, beyond thought, beyond effort, into pure restful silence. And now, as you continue drifting even deeper into this gentle experience, something very quiet begins to happen within your perception of everything, as if the entire sense of moving forward is now slowing down, softening, dissolving into a deeper and more peaceful rhythm. A deeper level of calm begins to unfold now, not suddenly, not sharply, but slowly, like the final settling of waves after a long journey across still water. And in this calm, there is nothing pulling you forward anymore. No urgency, no pressure, no expectation, only softness, only stillness, only letting go. And as this continues, your awareness feels even more distant now, almost like it is floating at the edge of sleep itself, not fully asleep yet, but no longer fully awake, just suspended, between worlds, between thoughts, between awareness and rest. And in this space, everything feels softer, even your breathing, even your thoughts, even your sense of self, all becoming lighter, quieter, more distant. Inhale, slow calm. Exhale, gentle release. Inhale, soft awareness. Exhale, deeper surrender. And each breath now feels like a wave pulling you further into stillness, not into thinking, not into doing, but into pure being. And now, even your body feels like it is melting into comfort, not disappearing, but becoming so relaxed, so deeply rested, that it no longer demands attention. It simply is heavy, warm, safe, and supported, as if the surface beneath you has become the most peaceful place in existence. And now, something very subtle begins to shift in your mind. Thoughts that once felt close now feel far away. Thoughts that once felt important now feel irrelevant. Thoughts that once needed attention now simply pass through without touching you, like distant echoes fading into silence, and you remain untouched, calm, steady, still. And now, even the sensation of listening begins to soften. If the words are no longer being followed logically, but instead absorbed as a gentle rhythm of calm, a rhythm that slows you, a rhythm that softens you, a rhythm that carries you deeper, and you allow it completely. No resistance, no effort, just surrender. And now, something very beautiful begins to unfold. Time itself begins to feel different, as if it is no longer moving in a straight line, but stretching, softening, dissolving into one continuous moment of peace, a moment without pressure, a moment without urgency, a moment without end. And in this moment, you are safe, deeply safe, completely safe, so safe that even letting go feels natural now. Even resting feels effortless now. Even drifting towards sleep feels like the most natural thing in the world. And deeper still, your awareness continues to soften until even noticing becomes quiet, almost dreamlike, almost invisible, as if everything you are experiencing is wrapped in a soft layer of calm stillness, and you are no longer holding on to anything. Not thoughts, not feelings, not awareness itself. Only drifting, only soft surrender, only gentle fading into peace. And now, even your sense of identity begins to blur gently at the edges, not disappearing, but becoming less defined, more open, more spacious, as if you are no longer a separate point of awareness, but a vast field of calm presence where everything is simply happening softly, quietly, naturally. And in this field, there is no tension, there is no resistance, there is only flow, only ease, only deep relaxation. And now, everything slows again. Breath, mind, body, awareness, all merging into one continuous state of stillness. And in this stillness, there is only one thing left: deep peace. And you are going even deeper now, into silence, into surrender, into sleep. And now, as you continue drifting even deeper into this quiet and peaceful experience, something very subtle begins to shift within your awareness, almost like a soft transition between wakefulness and sleep, where the edges of reality begin to blur gently, slowly, peacefully. A dreamlike awareness begins to form now, not fully awake, not fully asleep, but somewhere in between, that gentle space where everything feels softer, slower, more fluid, more distant. And in this space, there is no effort left at all, no need to focus, no need to think, no need to stay aware in any particular way, only drifting, only resting, only allowing everything to unfold naturally. And as this continues, your breathing becomes even more subtle now, almost like a faint rhythm in the background of silence. Inhale, barely noticed. Exhale, gently fading away. Inhale, soft presence. Exhale, deeper release. And each breath carries you further into this dreamlike state, not into thinking, not into analyzing, but into pure awareness that is slowly dissolving into rest. And now, even your body feels less defined in awareness, not gone, but distant, soft, almost weightless, as if it no longer holds structure in your perception. Only comfort, only stillness, only ease. And you may notice now that thoughts appear differently. They are no longer sharp or structured. They feel like fragments of dreams, fading images, distant impressions. They rise gently and they dissolve without effort, without importance. And you do not follow them. You simply let them pass. And in that letting go, something deeper opens within you. A quiet space, a vast inner silence, not empty, but full of calm presence. A silence that feels like it has always been here, waiting beneath everything. And now you are resting inside it, completely, softly, naturally. And as this silence deepens, your awareness begins to shift again, as if it is no longer anchored to the physical sense of body or thought, but instead floating gently in a space of pure stillness, a space where everything feels distant but safe. And in this safety, there is no need to hold anything anymore, no need to stay alert, no need to stay engaged, only surrender, only soft drifting, only deeper and deeper relaxation. And now, even the sense of time begins to dissolve further, as if there is no before, no after, only this continuous present moment, soft, endless, peaceful. And in this moment, something very gentle begins to happen. Your mind starts to feel like it is entering a different state of processing, not thinking, not planning, but drifting, like a dream forming slowly in the background of awareness. And you are not controlling it, you are not guiding it, you are simply observing it fade into stillness. And now, everything begins to feel more unified. Body, mind, awareness, all merging into one continuous flow of calm, no separation, no division, only softness, only peace, only surrender. And deeper still, your awareness begins to fade gently at the edges, not disappearing, but becoming more fluid, more spacious, more dreamlike, as if you were no longer inside your thoughts, but your thoughts are passing through a vast field of silence, and that silence is you. And now, everything slows again, even further. Breath, even softer. Thought, even quieter. Awareness, even more distant, until everything becomes one continuous experience of deep stillness. And in this stillness, there is nothing left to hold, nothing left to do, nothing left to become, only drifting, only letting go, only peaceful descent. And now, you are no longer approaching sleep. You are merging with it, slowly, softly, completely. And you are going even deeper now, into dreamlike silence, into restful surrender, into sleep itself. And now, as you continue drifting even deeper into this quiet and dreamlike experience, something very subtle begins to happen within your awareness, as if even the last remaining sense of effort is beginning to dissolve, slowly, gently, completely. A gentle fading of conscious effort begins now, not as something you do, but as something that naturally happens when everything inside you finally feels safe enough to let go. And in this fading, there is nothing to hold on to anymore, no need to stay focused, no need to remain aware, no need to continue anything at all, only softness, only stillness, only surrender. And as this continues, your awareness begins to feel even lighter now, almost like it is floating just above the surface of sleep, no longer grounded in thoughts, no longer anchored in sensation, just gently drifting. And you may notice your breathing has become extremely subtle, almost invisible in awareness. Inhale, soft presence. Exhale, quiet release. Inhale, fading awareness. Exhale, deeper surrender. And each breath carries you further away from effort, further away from thinking, further into pure rest. And now even your mind begins to feel lighter than before, not empty, but unburdened, as if every thought that once carried weight, every idea, every concern, every memory is now dissolving into softness, not being erased, just no longer active, no longer relevant in this moment of deep rest. And you are not following anything anymore. You are not creating anything anymore. You are simply allowing everything to fade. And in that fading, something very peaceful begins to emerge. A quiet, spacious awareness, not sharp, not focused, but wide, gentle, dreamlike, as if your mind is no longer a structure of thoughts, but an open sky where everything passes through without resistance. And now, even the sense of your body becomes softer in awareness, not disappearing, but blending into comfort, blending into stillness, blending into ease, as if your entire physical presence is becoming part of the background of calm. And there is no need to define it anymore, no need to control it, no need to monitor it, only rest, only surrender, only gentle sinking. And now time itself begins to feel even more distant, as if it is no longer something moving forward, but something dissolving entirely. No urgency, no sequence, no direction, only one continuous state of stillness. And in this stillness, your entire nervous system begins to settle even deeper, like waves finally reaching the shore after a long journey, like wind finally becoming quiet after moving through open space. Everything is slowing, everything is softening, everything is returning to balance. And now, even thoughts become extremely rare, and when they do appear, they feel almost dreamlike, like fragments of something far away, like distant echoes fading into silence. And you do not engage with them, you do not follow them, you simply let them dissolve, and in their absence, silence becomes more present. Not empty silence, but full silence, deep silence, healing silence. And this silence wraps around your awareness gently, like a soft invisible layer of calm, holding you, supporting you, guiding you deeper without effort. And now something very important begins to happen. Your entire sense of trying begins to disappear completely. There is no effort left to maintain awareness, no effort left to stay awake, no effort left to continue anything. Only being, only drifting, only surrendering. And as this surrender deepens, your awareness begins to feel almost weightless, as if you are no longer held by anything at all, not thoughts, not body, not identity, only space, only calm, only stillness. And in this stillness, everything becomes one unified experience. No separation, no division, no distinction between inside and outside. Only peace, only softness, only quiet presence. And deeper still, even the idea of listening begins to fade, as if the words are no longer being processed, but simply flowing through a dreamlike space of awareness, and you allow them completely. No resistance, no control, just gentle surrender. And now, everything slows again, even more, breath, even softer, mind, even quieter, awareness, even more distant, until everything becomes one continuous wave of calm, and in this calm there is nothing left to hold, nothing left to become, nothing left to do, only drifting, only dissolving, only deep surrender. And you are going even deeper now, into silence, into rest, into the edge of sleep itself. And now, as you continue drifting even deeper into this gentle and quiet experience, something very soft begins to unfold within your awareness, as if everything that once felt solid, everything that once felt structured, is now beginning to dissolve into a deeply restful space. A space where everything feels weightless, begins to open now, not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, gently, like mist fading into open sky, like sound dissolving into silence, like thought melting into stillness. And in this space, there is nothing to hold on to anymore. No effort, no resistance, no direction, only softness, only stillness, only letting go. And as this continues, your awareness begins to feel even lighter now, almost like it is no longer anchored to anything at all, not to thoughts, not to the body, not to time, just floating, softly, quietly, naturally. And your breathing continues, but it is so subtle now, so effortless, that it feels like part of the background of silence itself. Inhale, faint calm. Exhale, gentle release. Inhale, soft awareness. Exhale, deeper surrender. And each breath takes you further into stillness, not into thinking, not into analyzing, but into pure rest. And now, Even your body feels different in awareness. Not gone, but distant, soft, as if it is no longer something you are actively experiencing, but something you are resting within, and this resting feels deeply safe. So safe that even letting go feels completely natural now. Even sinking feels effortless now. Even drifting towards sleep feels like the only natural direction remaining. And as this continues, thoughts become extremely faint, almost like echoes at the edge of awareness. They rise gently and they fade, without impact, without importance, and you do not follow them. You simply allow them to disappear, and in their disappearance, something very peaceful opens, a deep silence, not empty, but full of stillness, full of calm, full of space, and you are resting inside that space now, completely, softly, naturally. And as this silence deepens, your awareness begins to shift again, as if even the act of being aware is becoming softer, lighter, more distant, and in its place there is only experience, not observed, not analyzed, just happening like waves moving through a still ocean, and you are that ocean, calm, vast, unmoving, and now even time begins to lose meaning, as if everything is unfolding in one continuous still moment, no past pulling you, no future calling you, only now, endless, soft, peaceful, and in this moment your entire nervous system begins to settle even more deeply, as if every remaining trace of tension is now dissolving into calm. Every remaining trace of alertness is now melting into rest. Every remaining trace of effort is now fading into surrender. And you are not doing this. It is happening through you, naturally, effortlessly, completely, and deeper still. Your awareness becomes more dreamlike again, as if reality itself is softening around the edges, becoming less defined, more fluid, more peaceful, and you are no longer holding anything at all, not thoughts, not sensations, not awareness itself, only drifting, only sinking, only soft release, and now even the sense of listening becomes very faint, as if the words are no longer separate from silence, but part of the same calm flow, and you allow them completely. No resistance, no effort, just gentle surrender. And now everything slows again, even further, breath, mind, body, awareness, all becoming softer, all becoming quieter, all becoming still. And in this stillness, there is only one experience left, pure rest. And you are going even deeper now, into silence, into weightless calm, into sleep itself. And now, as you continue drifting even deeper into this vast and peaceful state of rest, something very subtle begins to happen within your entire awareness, as if everything that remains of effort, everything that remains of thinking, everything that remains of holding on, is now gently beginning to dissolve, completely, softly, naturally. A final layer of deep relaxation begins to unfold now, not as something new, but as the final letting go, the last soft surrender, the deepest release. And in this release, there is nothing left to resist anymore, no tension to maintain, no thoughts to follow, no awareness to control, only stillness, only silence, only pure calm. And as this continues, your awareness feels even more distant now, almost like it is fading gently into the background of sleep itself. Not disappearing, but becoming softer, lighter, more dreamlike, as if everything you are experiencing is now wrapped in a gentle veil of peace, and your breathing continues. But it feels almost invisible now, so subtle, so effortless, that it blends perfectly with silence. Inhale, soft fading. Exhale, gentle disappearance. Inhale, quiet, calm. Exhale, deeper surrender. And each breath carries you further down, not forward but inward, into deeper stillness. And now, even your body feels like it is no longer something separate in your awareness. It is simply part of the stillness, heavy, soft, completely supported, as if every muscle, every nerve, every fiber has now fully surrendered into rest. And there is no need to hold anything anymore. No need to adjust anything anymore. No need to control anything anymore. Only letting go, only sinking, only drifting deeper. And now, thoughts become extremely rare. And when they appear, they feel like distant fragments of something far away, like echoes dissolving into silence, like faint shadows fading into light. And you do not engage with them. You do not follow them. You simply allow them to disappear. And in their disappearance, silence becomes more complete. Not empty silence, but full silence, deep silence, infinite silence. A silence that feels like it has always been here. And now, you are resting inside it, completely, softly, naturally. And as this silence deepens further, something very gentle begins to happen. Even your sense of awareness begins to soften, as if the idea of watching or listening is no longer needed, and instead everything is simply happening, flowing, dissolving, becoming one continuous experience of calm. And now even time begins to lose meaning completely, as if everything is no longer moving forward or backward, but existing in one endless still moment. No urgency, no direction, no expectation, only presence, only stillness, only peace. And in this peace, your entire system continues to soften, not through effort, but through surrender, as if every remaining layer of tension is being gently lifted away. Every remaining trace of effort is dissolving. Every remaining fragment of thought is fading into calm. And you are not doing this. It is happening through you, naturally, effortlessly, completely. And now, something very profound begins to unfold. Your sense of self begins to soften at the edges, not disappearing, but becoming less defined, more spacious, more fluid, as if you are no longer a separate point of awareness, but a vast field of calm stillness, where everything is allowed, where everything is peaceful, where everything is already at rest. And now, even the act of listening feels almost unnecessary, as if the words are no longer separate from silence, but part of the same gentle wave of calm, and you allow them completely. No resistance, no effort, just surrender. And now everything slows once more, even further. Breath, even softer. Mind, even quieter. Awareness, even more distant, until everything becomes one continuous field of deep peace. And in this peace, there is nothing left to hold, nothing left to do, nothing left to become, only drifting, only dissolving, only pure rest. And you are going even deeper now, beyond thought, beyond awareness, into the edge of sleep itself. And now, as you reach this final and deepest part of your journey, something very quiet begins to happen within your entire being, as if everything that was left of effort, everything that was left of awareness, everything that was left of holding on, is now gently dissolving completely into pure rest. A complete surrender into deep healing sleep begins now, not slowly anymore, not partially anymore, but fully, naturally, completely. And in this complete surrender, there is nothing left to resist, no thoughts to follow, no awareness to maintain, no control to keep, only softness, only silence, only deep, peaceful sleep. And now your breathing becomes so subtle, so light, that it almost disappears into stillness. Inhale, fading away. Exhale, letting go completely. Inhale, soft surrender. Exhale, deeper into sleep. And each breath is no longer a process. It is a passing wave, slowly dissolving you into rest. And now, even your body feels completely supported, completely still, completely heavy in the most comforting way, as if every part of you has finally arrived where it needed to be, at rest, at peace, at ease. And there is nothing left to do, nothing left to think, nothing left to hold, only falling, only drifting, only surrendering. And now, thoughts are almost completely gone, not because they were forced away, but because they are no longer needed. They fade, like distant echoes in a silent valley, like soft ripples disappearing into calm water, and you are no longer following anything, no longer holding anything, just resting beneath everything. And in this deep rest, something very beautiful happens. Silence becomes complete, not empty silence, but full silence, warm silence, safe silence, a silence that feels like home. And now you are inside that silence, completely, softly, naturally. And as this silence deepens, even your awareness begins to dissolve gently, as if there is no longer a you observing, only experience itself, only calm itself, only rest itself. And now, even time disappears. There is no before, no after, only this endless moment of deep peace. And in this peace, your entire system finally lets go completely. Every muscle softens, every nerve relaxes, every thought fades, every sensation dissolves, and everything becomes one unified field of stillness. And you are not entering sleep anymore. You are becoming sleep, slowly, softly, completely. And now there is nothing left to guide you, because you are already there. Nothing left to do, because everything is already done. Nothing left to hold, because everything has already been released. Only deep rest remains. Only deep silence remains. Only deep healing sleep remains. And now, even these words begin to fade away, not stopping, but dissolving into silence, like waves returning to the ocean, like light returning to darkness, like awareness returning to stillness. And you are safe, so deeply safe, so completely safe, and you can now drift fully into sleep, naturally, effortlessly, peacefully. And as you do, everything continues without effort. Healing continues, rest continues, sleep continues, and you are no longer falling. You have arrived in deep healing sleep, in complete peace, in perfect stillness. And now there is only silence.